Oh, okay. Guess I'm back. It's all singing tune.
Jai Guru.
Haven't been getting questions over the web. Have not been getting. We still got people listening.
I think so, yeah. If you go to the see the number of views and stuff.
I guess I did have a question about a while back. I brought up I was reading this book and the guy suggested first thing in the morning as soon as you open your eyes do a mantra. I fast or slow, whatever he didn't say, but it does give a good connection to me. Oftentimes, to the I am, and then I know at first you said it was body knowledge, but then I responded that any mantra, Ramakant said any mantra would do. Then I think it was like 2 weeks afterwards, you did make a reference to that, and I didn't like respond to it or anything, but you said something about I, and I don't know. Do you
Just
remember that?
yeah, just I in the morning. Nisargadatta Maharaj also talks about you wake up in the morning and before you are there, before that whole process starts, the meditation of I'm awake, what am I going to do today? How's my job? What am I going to have for breakfast and all that?
Right.
Between that borderline of awakeness and having just arisen, that's that just I feeling, I without anything, before you start adding things on. That's why I would say it's a very terrible idea to try mantra first thing in the morning, because you wake up, but just allow everything very natural. If you want to say try a mantra, then I would say as you're falling to sleep is much nicer time. You sit there in the bed and you're just remain with yourself as you start to fade away. Just mantra, listening to the mantra as it's running naturally through the body,
Yeah.
and naturally then sleep will happen.
Yeah. Well, I do that also,
But
but
yeah, waking up in the morning, try to not put on the clothes of the illusory identity for as long as possible without trying.
all I can say is it works for me. So.
Okay, again.
John, that whatever you said right now, that I feeling in the morning, that is the reflection of the absolute.
That's that sense of presence, that just I.
Yeah.
That absolute is, you could say that's from the position of where you're observing this just I, this I am, this I exist.
Yeah, because Maharaj says, I am. That is the reflection of the absolute. So, just the naming terminology is just now what you said. I is referring to the same thing. What Maharaj says, I am.
When I say I am, and I believe also when Nisargadatta Maharaj says I am, or Sri Ramakant says I am, it's that just I feeling, that subtle presence, that just I without anything. And that's that first sort of concept of duality of I exist, because there's this subtle sense of presence that I know myself. Oh, there's a subtle sense of presence, and therefore knowingness happens. And then this subtle sense of presence is polluted by all these other things of I am this, I am that, and all these other things. And you could say that when you are sitting there and witnessing I am, or you are sitting with yourself and you just sense that subtle, subtle presence, just I, that one who is sensing that subtle sense of presence from that position, that's your own self. This sense of presence, this sense of just I, that's the primary illusion.
Okay.
On which and you could say on which the entire world is appearing. But when you know this sense of presence, you, the one who is the knowing of this sense of presence, is the true you. That's from the position. You could say absolute if you want to. It's just you. And then the you, when you're sensing this sense of presence, oh, I exist. The I that knows I exist is the one prior to the sense of existence, and that's you. That's why Maharaj says, remove everything, and there you are. Where all experience ends, there you are. Even the last thing, and that's why the selfless self-intoxication is very wonderful. The amazing feeling of just, wow, peace, bliss. But don't remain there. Many will say, I am in this very, I'm in Sahaja Samadhi, where I am in this state where things are just beautiful. There's no sense of myself, and therefore everything is lovely. But the one who is behind this, from where presence is arising, there you are. This is the position, the quote, final destination. And now from this, if you try and create a position for this, you'll feel that almost black hole. It sucks in there's nothing that you want to know here, because the knower, the knowingness, all those are not here. Those are on the spontaneous presence. Those are the layers on illusion. This is your own self. And now from here, you just go about, do your job, do your duties. Occasionally you'll feel the sense of presence. Okay, it's nice, it's there, but I don't need this. You're no longer confined to your body through the concepts of I am a body, I am in a world. No, because you're just with yourself. And it's the most natural. It's not like an amazing kind of experience. The amazing experience would be the sense of presence, the selfless self-intoxication, that amazing feeling of just absolute bliss, absolute peace, just pure. But see, bliss is not an attribute. It's only something that is added on. The knower of bliss, that's your position. Without creating the knower, you are. The sense of bliss creates the knower of the sense of bliss. However, the one to whom the knower is created because of the sense of bliss is your own self. You don't need the bliss. You don't need the presence. You don't need the peace. You'd need nothing. And when you have known yourself in a real sense, then all body-based experiences dissolve spontaneously. When you know yourself and you put the identity on the sense of presence, then ego, body, intellect, mind, all that is dissolved. Birth and death dissolved. But now when you place yourself in your true position, you're seeing the sense of presence has appeared, and that's the first thing that's appeared to the formlessness that you are. You can't say anything about that. Ultimate truth. And somebody sits there and says, oh, I read such and such. but this is so many layers away from yourself. It's almost like it's a foreign language.
Can deep sleep be the example for this? Means that is the deep sleep.
Deep sleep is, okay, there's no knowing of yourself. Then there's no nothing, but yet you are. Deep sleep, though, is again a state that would come along with the body, ego, intellect, mind, because all of those are subsiding into that you are. Deep sleep is removing the layers. Like you say, okay, here's dream, here's like just going into sleep, here's sleep, here's deep sleep, but all of these are appearing. So you're from a position on where all of this is. You could say, honestly, that you witnessed deep sleep because you are on which deep sleep is a layer. There's no layer for you. It's not like, oh, this prior to presence, you are. Presence comes, you are. Presence is no longer felt because this body can no longer sustain, you are. So you are is not, there's no states, there's no steps. It's just the ultimate truth, the reality. That's why Maharaj says, final destination, you can throw away the map. The map is all the books, all the masters, all even your own experimentation with trying to discover yourself through mantra or anything else. But final destination, this can all be thrown away. You are that. Spontaneous conviction. The knower of the sense of presence cannot be known because that is your own self. Without needing to create a knower because it's prior to that can be known. Not trying to do word gymnastics, but trying to stop any kind of conceptualizing for your own self because you're prior to all the concepts. Prior to birth, prior to death, prior to world, prior to body, prior to mind, prior to the first thought, prior to the first word, everything. And yet even not prior because you're continuum. It's not like you're like, oh, here I am prior. Now this is happening. Oh, now I'm other prior or now I'm after. No, it's continuum. Any change is appearing. And all changes appear on presence because that's the first knowing. Oh, I exist. But the one that knows that you existed prior to the knowledge of existence. That's how Maharaj says, knock, knock on the door. Who's there? Nobody's there. But somebody had to be there to say, nobody's there. You are prior to the knowledge you are. If you were not prior to the knowledge you are, when the knowledge you are was there, who would know this?
But you can't recognize it as an object or a subject.
There's nothing.
That's why, yeah, when you say nothing,
nothing is a concept that we have to use words because we're trying to describe you can even absolute. And absolute is, again, it's a word that is trying to point to the knower of the sense of presence. Whether presence is there or not, the knower is. And yet the knower is created because of the knowing of the sense of presence, and you are prior.
So is it recognized by, does it recognize itself or is it recognized by the body?
Self-recognition. direct self-recognition. And that's the only thing that'll stop the questions and it'll stop your search. You know yourself. It's direct recognition. Oh, so that I am that. I am that prior to I am. And now it just stops. If I'm prior to I am, and all these people have been speaking about I am and remaining with I am and all that, well, wait a minute, I'm prior to I am. So then what?
Yeah, I sometimes I get like right on the edge of that, but it doesn't seem like anything, so I don't know what to make of it. So sooner or later, though, it's going to hit me, I suppose.
Well, if you can sense the sense of presence, you're not the sense of presence.
Right.
The sense of presence is known. You're the knower.
But again, those are just words.
The concept of the knower being created due to something to be known. You are that. Just know that you're that in this position. You know, you can feel the sense of presence due to the body form. Oh, there's a sense of presence that's known. So right away, you know the entire world is projected on this sense of presence. Without this presence, could you experience the world? It's simple. No. You can't experience world without sense of presence. Therefore, the world is on that sense of presence. So now, if the world is on the sense of presence and you identify as presence, then you have eliminated the entire world, everyone in it, and everything. Now you are formless presence. But you know the sense of presence, so this is not your true position. And that's why Maharaj says, many of the spiritual people, they will stop at I am, because I am is beautiful. It's the most peaceful state. It's like just perpetual bliss.
Yeah, that's what the more thing does connects me with, you know.
You don't stop there because you are the knower. Your true position is the knower of the sense of presence. And you're prior to the knower because the knower was created with the sense of presence. The knower knows the sense of presence. Without the knower, you are. This is what we're constantly pointing to all the time because you can't do anything other than be yourself. You can pretend to be other than yourself. You can pretend to be the body in the world, having spiritual experiences, reading books, trying to learn, trying to remain with yourself, and all this sort of stuff. But the true position is prior to everything. And that's where we say nothing, because you're prior to everything. The absence of all things, there you are. That's why Maharaj says the something came out of nothing and goes back to nothing. The something, a sense of presence, it stirs. There's a knowingness and a knower created to know this knowingness. And this whole world is then known. And then you recede, 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 recede. Oh, this is my true position.
It only happened to me 2 or 3 times, but today when I
No, it is your natural state. You're experiencing it because of the created knower, the concept of Keith that is trying to find out yourself, but you can't say it's only happened because you are that. The happening is Keith.
Yeah.
The happening is Keith's thoughts about the happening. There is no happening.
Well, it's not even at certain level. It's even prior. It's like experience prior to thoughts. It's almost like
Prior to experience, no experience,
this
no
is still,
experiencer.
this is experience. I'm talking. Yeah, I am still talking about experience.
And throw that away because there's no experience, no experiencer. Maharaj would say it's good progressive steps. as you're still delusionally keeping yourself as this concept of a spiritual seeking, these are good progressive steps, even though they're all within the illusion. But the you that you are has not gone through any spiritual journey. And even if you do, you'll just end back at yourself. Because you can't not be yourself. No matter how much you add on to you, you could say, oh, I'm totally lost in illusion, but your true position hasn't changed at all.
It seems like so nothing.
Just like playing a video game. You're in a video game, right? And you're going through and you're getting levels and you're collecting things and doing all this stuff. But the true position of the one that is doing all of this has not changed. Maybe you're eating Cheetos or something, but you're not changing. You don't dive into the game and become the little guy running around. You are outside the whole thing. And the you that you are is further removed than that because you're more subtle than presence. That's why Maharaj says, if at all you want to compare, compare yourself to sky or space. Please don't compare. But if you are deluded in the idea that you are a body, mind in a world, then try to compare yourself to space or sky. Then you can't say sky is having a bad day. Sky is having a good day. Space is very irritated right now. Or space is very happy right now. But you're more subtle than this.
Yeah, maybe.
Think of yourself. Have you ever seen the TV shows where there was just a TV show on where it's this big body, but this little tiny guy in the head, and he's moving the body and talking and all this, but he's just this little teeny little guy. Imagine yourself the little formless guy back here moving the body and doing all these things, but not affected at all. As if you were like air that just went, and oh, now the body's animated. Now the body's not animated. But this you are is no birth, no death. You sit there and you watch, as Maharaj says, from a boy to a young man, to an adult, to an old man, to a very old man. But the you that's watching this body age is not aging. Timeless. Because you're prior to the concept of time.
What I was going to allude to was this morning when I woke up, I I had that sense that there's no difference between the three states, deep sleep, dream, and wakefulness. But I still didn't pick up on who is aware of that.
You. Not this you in form labeled Keith. The true you.
Right.
That's all there is. Because you discard everything, there you are.
That for sure I knew it wasn't Keith recognizing this. It's just I don't know what it was, what it is.
Well, it's you. When I say you are that. When you're sitting in meditation and you sense this sense of presence, or whether you're walking around and now you can sense this presence wherever you are, that is the first knowing for the knower that you are, before the concept of a knower came along with something to know. Your true position No knowledge is knowledge. No knower, no knowing, no known, no nothing. Not the concept of nothing, the absence of all things. That's why black hole is very nice, because there's no way to form a concept from your true position other than the sense of presence. Oh, I'm still, even when I remain with myself, I still can sense this subtle sense of presence. Yes, because body form is available, so you're in the illusory bubble. Or the perceiving is within the illusory bubble. Again, the bubble is in you. You are not in it. But the perception that's sending kind of these signals, if you want to say that, is within the illusion. I know myself in a real sense. What is real sense? Without anything. I without anything. Just I, just I. Subtle sense of presence, discard.
You recognize it, but it's nothing other than what it is, I guess. Nothing
Yeah,
other.
this is why Nisargadatta Maharaj says, if you remain with the I am long enough, it unveils all its secrets, or unwraps all of its secrets, or give the secrets to you. The secret is this very subtle sense of presence. Your true position is seen, reflection off the sense of presence of, this is the true position. Whether presence is or is not, I am.
So even the I exist is an illusion.
Yes, the first knowingness created the sense of knowing along with something to be known, but the knower, before the knower was created, due to the sense of knowing and something to be known, is always that you are.
Yeah, it's just ease. There is nothing to, there is no knower, there is no knowing, there is nothing. Just it is.
Exactly. There's you. And see, from this true position, if somebody talks about birth and death, you would have to, like, okay, birth and death, here's sense of presence. You're before that. Sense of presence then is clicking with the body. The body is born and can die, but we're like 4 steps, because from the true position, instead of receding, now you're starting to see the true perspective from the true seeing of all these illusory layers. And you will not get lost in that, because you're seeing from the true position. And again, even for those folks listening, that if you're identified with the sense of presence, okay, you say, I am not body, I was not body, not going to remain body. This sense of presence, this must be myself. This is okay, because right away you've gotten rid of birth, death, you've gotten rid of world, you've gotten rid of body-based relations, body-based knowledge, uh, body-based feelings. You're no longer taking instructions from the mind, ego, intellect. This is good. But as you remain there for some time, you will know this is also can be, I don't need this.
What would be your take on oneness? I mean, sometimes even I know this Nisargadatta has occasionally used that word oneness, and obviously it can be easily turned into a concept, but it's sort of like, isn't that the direct experience when you do know yourself? It's like there's nothing other, so oneness is a word for that.
Position, there wouldn't be this word arising of oneness,
Right,
thinking of
right,
oneness,
right.
because
But
I think Sri oh, Sri Ranjit Maharaj says if you count one, then you have to have two. Zero.
right. What
And the
about
concept of oneness is one.
what
But
about
in order
one?
to count one, you're separating.
What about
One.
one? What about one that combines zero with one, where there's no difference between
Zero, zero plus one. No, or actually, I think is zero plus one zero or zero? No, one, right? Zero plus one would be one. So
no.
no,
Well,
zero.
the way the way
Zero is nothing. Null, zero.
the way I
Just
was
zero yourself.
the kind of the way I was thinking about is if you think of okay, I was thinking about this sort. It's almost like turning myself inside out to recognize non-duality. And but if okay, in order for there to be something inside to turn out, it has to be one thing that's inside out at the same time. And it's so there's zero, it's like zero and nothing inside out. And but it's the one thing that's inside and out at the same time, right now.
Zero is zero. Zero. You're using mind to try and remember, mind will keep you trapped in illusion for 400 million years. Or, as Siddhar Maharaj says, 400 million different species. Continuum. The mind will keep you trapped again and again and again because you can try to figure it out forever. That's why, and what's worse too, there are people who sit there and try to figure it out and won't get that allow to be removed because then there becomes a, but I know this. This is how I'm
But,
feeling.
but
This
these,
is my personal experience. But you're not a person. You're not having a personal experience. And that's why Nisargadatta Maharaj says, Sri Ramakant Maharaj, he has told many people at the ashram, I'm shouting at you. And if you're disturbed, good, because then you are taking personalization of this. Oh, but you don't understand my personal experience. Well, we don't care about your personal experience because it's not true. Oh, but my personal journey. Yep, no, there is no personal journey. So that's a ridiculous statement. Or in my experience, I am studying. Okay, throw that away too, because this doesn't matter at all. Anything that can be known is body knowledge because mind came along with the body. So anything the mind can try to figure out is just a trap within the bubble of illusion in the body. You want to be prior to body in your true position, seeing prior to presence. Believe me, formlessness has no need for any kind of figuring it out, turning body inside out or burning bodies or not, any of these things. It does not make a difference.
the black hole again.
Space.
The black hole again.
Space, the black hole, exactly. Every time a thought comes, you try desperately to remain in your true position. Yes, this is duality because there's a struggle, but it's much better than flowing along with the mind. Flowing along with the mind, you might as well jump in the river and see where the current takes you.
Anger will take you to the same place. Anything will take you.
And the current, if it's too strong, you can't get back out on the shore.
Right. That's what anger is. Yeah.
You jump in the river starts carrying you away, and suddenly you decide, no, I don't like this flow. I want to get out. No, you cannot get out. Not for some time. The flow will tell you when you can get out by slowing down.
Earlier, when I used to read a lot of books like Nisargadatta Maharaj, also my mind used to compare like logically how this is how to, because I was not able to, like so-called spiritual journey, like started with mantra, and then I used to read a lot of Maharaj book and other Ramana Maharshi's books and all. So I used to think that what Maharaj says, I am, and different master says oneness. So the same terminology, even the Maharaj says I am is the first illusion, and some master says oneness is the same thing again. One is first manifestation, whatever you call. After that, all these body and all will appear and makes it duality. And before that, Maharaj says is the absolute, or I am that. So for that, in my mind, I used to say it is a nonness. Some people used to say nonness.
Mm-hmm. A numbness, yeah.
Yeah,
The absence of all things.
yeah.
Did you say numbness?
None.
Oh,
None.
yeah, yeah.
Noneness.
Okay, yeah,
Instead of oneness, noneness.
right.
Mm.
Gives me something to think about. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, see? This one is it's got to be direct experience. You can sit in meditation with mantra because mantra is going to slowly, silently, and permanently erase the concepts. If you try to add on more concepts, mantra will help because there will be less concepts, so there'll be a more direct seeing that, oh, wait a minute, this is a body-based concept. You can also ask yourself, if I didn't have this body, would this question or would this solution to a possible spiritual problem make any difference? That's why Maharaj says, on your deathbed, will this help you? He makes it a little bit, it's like, will all this help you on your deathbed? And in the same way, you say, if I didn't have this body, would these things be helping? Would these things help me know myself?
Would any of it help?
Exactly. The thing that helps you know yourself is to remain with your selfless self in direct recognition. Occasionally, the sense of presence will be there and there'll be a knowingness of existence, but that will be more and more rare as you stay in your true position.
Usually I get attracted to the bliss and
Yeah, I understand. Bliss is very beautiful. And in the beginning, it's kind of like the carrot for the spiritual seeker.
mm,
While you're identified as a spiritual seeker, seeking and trying to do meditation and trying to read books and all that, that subtle sense of presence, that very, very nice. That's why Maharaj says spiritual intoxication. Because I think he says something about when a baby starts to cry or something like that, they give him some honey. And it's the same thing. It's like a little reward, basically. The spiritual intoxication helps you because you've been so lost in the illusory world, believing you're a body in a world. You have family problems, you have friendship problems, might have marital problems, you might have job problems. I mean, so many problems you will have as identified with a body. So this is seen, and oh,